This from NFL.com. 5 quarterbacks who need new homes in 2025. They go Kirk Cousins. Atlanta can save $27.5 million against cap by trading Cousins post-June 1 move. Seems their only path to recouping some of their investment in terms of cap space. They also kind of delineate that he had success when Kevin Stefanski was his offense coordinator. They also say Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We learned from DTR's 2024 experience he needs much more time in order to handle the speed of the game. Perhaps Cleveland isn't the best place for him to do that. I don't argue with either of those. Yesterday we had a beat reporter on from Atlanta who said two things. He said he didn't think that Cousins was necessarily hurt or completely healthy. He kind of fatigued. And they didn't do anything relative to scheme to help him out and play to his strengths. They kind of they put him in the pistol and said, here, go to work. So those two things intrigue me about Cousins. He might be able to come in and give this team above average quarterback play, which I think makes them a playoff contender. And I can't believe I just said that about a 3-14 team, but it's the way I feel.
Yeah, and it raises the floor, takes the variance out of it, and you get a steady hand to kind of work with these guys, and you kind of hit the ground running. I see the reason why you would make that move, and I don't think you have to trade for him. I think they can say that they're going to try to get someone to trade for him to kind of help them out. But at the end of the day, they're not going to, if no one bites on the trade, because they know they'll basically have to release him. I think he ends up becoming his own free agent. And I got to applaud Kirk Cousins for the way he's navigated his career. Nobody's been paid like he's been paid at every stop, and he maximizes the most out of his time. This will be his one chance to go kind of pick a team, and we'll find out real quick if him and Stefanski's working relationship was something that he wants to revisit. But if he did, it's an easy call. Now, that doesn't prevent you from drafting a quarterback and bringing another reclamation project in, because this is going to have to be a full-throated effort. What Kirk Cousins did last year, even scheme aside and health aside, it wasn't so much that gives you confidence to say he's 100% the answer and we just roll with him. You still got to back everything up, kind of surround him with players, but he's a guy that you don't have to worry about starting week one. He'll be up to speed. He'll get the game plan. He'll understand the keys. He'll be able to read and make all the calls, all the checks, and he'll kind of take a little bit off Stefanski's plate and give him time to develop someone underneath. And I think that was, whether they knew it or not at the time, when they signed Kirk last year, the Falcons, and when they drafted Penix, that's the way they looked at it as well. We don't have to worry about getting Penix ready. Even if he looks good in camp, you can still bring him along slow. Kirk will be good to go week one, and you can bring him along. And now it's Kirk coming off an Achilles. Now he's a year removed from that Achilles. We'll see how much of it is the fatigue, how much of it is just age. But one thing, they will lean into his skill set if he comes to Cleveland. He won't have to worry about what he did in Atlanta. Like, Stefanski will make sure that he has everything at his disposal that he can run and operate and be 100% function.
Other things that Josh Kendall, who was the beat reporter for the Atlantic for the Falcons, said. Great teammate, which you hear everywhere. And if you want to find out more about that, go watch the quarterback series on Netflix. If you want to know about Kirk Cousins, he comes off as incredibly likable. And the other thing he said is they were at the midway point, he was a top 10 quarterback and then kind of fell off the face of the earth with and nobody could answer why. Raheem Morris couldn't answer why, Cousins couldn't answer why.
Yeah, and it's not from a lack of weapons either. Like, you do look around and they had him sufficiently stocked with Drake London.
Yep.
Mooney even played well, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. There's a good complement of weapons, and he did throw a significant amount of interceptions. So that's something to give you pause. But I just think the familiarity with what Kevin Stefanski likes to do, what Kirk does when he's in his bag, I think that you can bring those two things together, and whatever's in the tank, you can get the best of it out of him if you bring him here.